It took 300,000 years for us to evolve to this point, and here we elected Trump again. Everyone's talking like it's a bad thing, but is it? Or is it just a thing? A stage in our development? Everyone's also playing the blame game, which is fun, so we're definitely going to jump in. But that game is just small picture thinking. We're going to do more big picture thinking, because that's how you'll come to some post-election closure. I'm confident you'll have closure by the end of the vid. So for mostly the fun of it, we can blame Republicans, partially. They voted twice for a lifelong con man who propagandized them twice. But let's take a step back together and look at the bigger picture. Trump has been conning people all his adult life, and Americans have been idolizing rich people like him for all their lives, and American media has been propagandizing the public too. Conning and idolizing and propagandizing, some of the hallmarks of American culture. So American culture is to blame for the way the election went? Partially, but we're not there yet. There's much more to see. We have to take an even bigger step back, broaden our perspective even more. Culture is a manifestation of human developments, like the development of capitalism, and depending on how you look at it, populism. And human developments are products of human evolution. So, we have Trump, again, but we have him because of our culture, our human developments, and our evolution. Now, I'm not saying Trump represents the pinnacle of human evolution, but I am saying he represents the point we're at now in our evolution, a point where populism is growing, and maybe capitalism and other institutional systems are degenerating or devolving. This might sound to you like our species is devolving in general, but no. Some birds lost their flight in their evolution. Flight seems like a great evolutionary trait, but for some species, it turned out not to be. And many of our human developments seem great, but they may not be. We might shed them just as our ancestors shed their tails. Trump runs the country like a capitalist runs a business. Maybe we need to see this again to learn which of our human developments aren't so great.
Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out.
So long as we can identify our not-so-great human developments, what may seem like regress post-election may actually be progress. We're kind of at a turning point in our evolution. And yes, Trump represents the devolving in the country, but devolving really is just another stage in evolution, just as decay is another stage in nature. This is the big picture, and this is where you'll find closure. Not in a support group in an online echo chamber. I used to do echo chambers too, by the way. Not in that, but in taking a step or two back and seeing everything in the greatest context. In the United States of America, and really the world, people on the right and the left are parts of the same whole thing. Something that's like a living organism with left and right limbs. So yeah, you could blame Trump and Republicans for the state of the country, but that's kind of like blaming your right leg for not supporting the weight of your hefty body. Not that you're hefty. It's like blaming your brain's right hemisphere for not doing what your left hemisphere does. And really, being really disappointed about Trump winning the election is kind of like being disappointed about our evolution as a species. It's not taking into account that in nature and evolution, there are stages of decay and devolving, like losing our tails, and eventually even certain institutions. This is the big picture, and it's where you'll find closure. Did this video help you reframe the election? Or do you have another perspective? Also, this is a new channel, but it will have weekly content, so sub for more stuff like this.